Hi divers, Alec, Peirce, Scuba, get the Scuba Shack in Gravenhurst again. Now this particular tip that I want to share with you is a direct result of a question from a diver. This question wasn't on tech tips. Unfortunately, perhaps, I don't mind, but unfortunately I get a lot of questions from divers on my email address and other sources as well. And this diver was having a problem with his BCD, so he sent me this, and I tried to help him. But it said, hey, listen, this is something that my subscribers on YouTube might like to hear as well. It's important. We did share a little while ago, if Kevin can find it, he'll put a link on it, how to service your BCD dump valve. The dump valve is this thing up here. There are other dump valves, these little ones down here, you pull the cord and so on. But the most important is the PIV, power inflate dump valve, or hose assembly, whatever you want to call it. This thing here. Power inflate is actually the power inflate down here. You squeeze and blows the BC up, you dump it and so on. But this is a dump valve. You pull on it and it dumps up top. Okay, servicing that, we talked about that. In that video, I said, be careful when you put this back together that you don't cross thread the plastic threads. And this is exactly what happened with this young fellow who sent me the email. Alec, I've got a problem. He has a problem. Here's the problem. At one time, some time ago, buoyancy compensators were built differently. Let me explain. I'm going to unscrew this thread right here, which you can do. And there's your power inflate valve, the whole assembly. Take that off. At one time, this, what we call the mounting base, the base. This is the base onto which that screws, right? You saw that. At one time, this was a two-piece assembly. There was one part that went inside and clamped on the back of the PVC shell, and then the other piece, the part that you see, goes on top of that and threads onto it, and it squeezes the PVC shell in between the two parts to make a seal. And then this screws onto the outside part that you can see. All right, big deal, right? It's a big deal. If you have an older BC, it'll depend on the make as to how old. This BCD is old. Sequest has not been around for a long time. But I'm going to guess, I'm going to stick my neck out here and say that if you've had your buoyancy compensator for more than about 10 years, then you may still have that two-piece assembly. Okay? And if you have that two-piece assembly, it can be replaced. Cheap, quick, and easy. All right? More commonly, on BCDs of today, and this is not today's BC. This BC is 10 years old, at least 10 years old, maybe more. But on this buoyancy compensator, it looks to be almost exactly the same. We unscrew this one and take it off. Okay. This is current construction. This base is not two-piece. It's only one piece. It's on there permanently. You can see there's a permanent seal around the outside. And if you can see the inside, there's a permanent seal on the inside. This base does not come off. If you screw up the threads, pardon the expression, if you cross thread or mess up these plastic threads, and it's very easy to do, even experienced service people do it, then you have to replace the BC. There's no way to replace that mounting base. There's no way to repair it either. And if the threads are ruined, you can get them on there, but it's weakened. Now what will happen is you'll be down. This just happened recently to a good friend of mine, diving down in Roatan. And he was a leader, a dive master. And he went along, he goes to dump, he pulls on it, and the whole thing come off on his hand. Yeah, he goes to dump some air from his BC, pulls on it like this. Oh, whoa! No BCD. So it's important that you don't cross-thread it. So there's the two differences. How do you tell the difference? How do you know which yours is? If yours is this one, and this is badly damaged, sorry, new BC time. If it's one of these, then it may be possible to repair it. I did say may, didn't I? Because these parts are not new. You can't order these new from the manufacturer, but there are lots of these BCs around. So you can either buy a good used one on eBay for 20 bucks, or maybe there's a dive store around that's been in business for more than 20 years, and you would say, listen, I ruined this, I need a two-piece BC power inflate valve dump mount. They'll know what you're talking about, and they'll give you one. How do you tell the difference? Okay, it's easy. Take a close look here, Kev. Kev, get your camera working. Kev, wake up. Right in there. I need you to look inside. You should be able to see that this edge out here, you see, has got little flats. There's about 12 little flats. It's like a 12-point sockets, okay? 12 little flats in there. Now, that is on there for two reasons. The first reason is, if you look at the part that's going to go in there, can you see that too, Kev? You see that this also has matching 12 flats. You see that? So that when you put this on to install it, you can put it there, it locks in place. You can put it there, it locks in place. You can put it there, here, click, locks in place, and then you thread it on. So you can put this, you wouldn't put it like that, but you can move it a little bit, and that holds it in place while you then turn on the threads carefully. So that's one reason those flats are in there. The other reason is that there's a special tool that you can buy. I'm going to give Kevin the number in the Trident catalog where you can get one of these tools, and he'll put a picture on right now. And that tool is kind of neat. It's a plastic tool that fits in there against those 12 flats. And it has a handle, so now you can hold this outside edge perfectly still. And that tool has a hole in the middle. It has a hole in the middle because, sorry Kev, look down there again. You see those two little knobs inside there? And so you put the first tool on, which grabs this, holds it still. You take the second tool, which also has a handle. It goes down through the hole, goes into there, and you go like that, and it comes apart. Right on threads. That's right. And you just unscrew it then, take it out, put a new one in, and squeeze it back together. Ba-ba-ba-doo. You're out of here. The other way you can tell, if you take a look at one of the newer style that cannot be repaired, replaced, you'll notice the very distinct seal. You see the seal here? The impressed seal. This BC is two pieces of two shells, nylon shells, coated in PVC, and they're just sewn around the edge together. But they're heat sealed together. So there's a heat seal where the PVC's been heat sealed tight together. And there's a heat seal around here. You see it? There's no heat seal over here. That's how you tell the difference. If you have bumps, you can replace it. If you don't have bumps, you have a heat seal, you can't replace it. If you're fixing your BCD, cleaning it, repairing it, whatever you're doing, and it involves this, be careful. Be very careful that you get those threads very carefully lined up and they're going on smoothly before you jam it in tightly. That's it. Nice, simple tech tip. Hopefully it saves you a headache. Take care. Alec, Peirce, Scuba, here at the Scuba Shack. We're going diving, Kevin.